Hello, good evening, students. Welcome back. Very important topic we will be discussing today from the group 17 halogens. We will be talking about oxyacids of halogens, which is a very important topic. Interhalogen compounds is also very important topic, students. We are likely to discuss these two main topics today, which are very, very important.
Okay, sir.
Before that, we are just giving you small thing about hydrochloride, HCl. You are aware of this hydrogen chloride.
Yes, sir.
Just giving you some thing about HCl. You are aware of hydrogen chloride, students. And how do we prepare it? If you take common salt and you react common salt with H2SO4, students. So common salt, when you will react with H2SO4, what is common salt, students?
NaCl.
NaCl, H2SO4, and you will heat it. What is the result of this? What ions you have here? Na plus,
Plus and
Cl
Cl
minus,
minus
you have 2H plus
and
SO4.
S4 2 minus.
So H will go with Cl. So what you are going to get, students? HCl. So HCl, and what is left out? You have sodium ion, 1H plus NSO4. NaHSO4, students. This NaHSO4 can react with NaCl again, which is present, and the temperature is around 8 to 3 Kelvin. You can get
Okay.
sodium sulfate and HCl. The important thing about HCl, what is important about HCl? We are using, you know that in chemistry lab, you have bottles of hydrochloric acid. So it's a
Yes.
very good laboratory reagent and finds use in so many places. And if we discuss the properties of HCl, students, the important property is that you can see that it is a strong acid. It is a strong acid. It is ionized completely, students. HCl will react with water and is a strong acid. You get H3O plus and Cl minus. So the Ka value is very high.
Very high.
Therefore, the Ka value will be very small. Is a strong acid. Hydrochloric acid is a strong acid. And we have seen if HCl is reacting with ammonia gas. How do you test HCl in the lab? There is a evolution of HCl. You bring a glass rod dipped in ammonia solution.
Ammonia. And we get white fumes of NH4Cl.
Okay, what you will see is ammonium chloride, white fumes. So as a reaction of acid and base, but the important thing about HCl is they have asked what is aqua regia so many times. What is aqua regia is important. Sometimes they have asked in the papers. Aqua regia is what? Students, you already know about aqua regia. What is the use?
Yes, sir. Sir, aqua regia, it is a solution which is prepared by mixing um, a solution prepared by mixing 3 parts of conc HCl with 1 part of conc HNO3. It can dissolve gold and silver, which is used for it is used usually by the jewelers to clean the silver and gold jewelries.
Okay, That is the correct answer. The use is there because the noble metals like gold and platinum, these are inert metals. They are not reacting. They are not attacked by either concentrated acids, any of the concentrated acids, but they are dissolved in aqua regia, which we are saying concentrated HCl and concentrated HNO3, which 3 is to 1, 3 parts by 1. If I mix, I will get aqua regia, and gold and platinum are going to dissolve in these noble metals. So what you find is the gold which is there. This gold is in zero oxidation state, students. If you have H plus, if you have NO3 minus, you have Cl minus. What you're forming is AuCl4 minus, and you are getting NO plus 2H2O.
Okay.
Now, what is the oxidation state of gold, students, here in this compound?
It will be X minus 2 is equal to minus 1 minus 1 plus 4 3. Plus 3.
Plus 3. So what has happened? Gold has been
Oxidized.
oxidized. Gold is oxidized from 0 to
2 plus 3.
plus 3 oxidation states. Chemical reactions, when we write, students, we write in terms of their oxidation states or oxidation numbers because we know it is the best way of learning the reactions.
Yes, sir.
Gold is going from 0 to plus 3 oxidation states, and the gas which is there is NO, nitrogen oxide, which is the gas is there. And what is the oxidation state of nitrogen in oxide here?
It will be
Plus 2.
plus 2.
What is the oxidation state of nitrogen here, students?
In NO3 minus, it will be X minus 6 minus 1 minus 1 plus 6 plus 5.
Plus 5 to plus 3.
Reduction.
What has happened? Group nitrogen has many oxidation states. You have seen in the group 15 elements. Plus 3 and plus 5 oxidation states we have seen. So here it is going from plus 5 to plus 2 oxidation states, and gold is going from 0 to plus 3 oxidation states. So similarly, you will see platinum also reacts with nitric acid, and what you get is platinum hexachloride 2 minus ion. So if we have platinum, students, this will also react. Here we have a balanced equation. Balanced equation is already with us. What we have, nitrate ion, nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. Strong oxidizing agent, we already have told about that. Now this reaction needs some attention for balancing, but
Yes,
we
sir.
want to see what is the change in oxidation state, students. 2 minus NO, again you are getting NO, students, and 8H2O. Here NO and H2O. What is the oxidation state of platinum here, students? From 0 to
It will be X minus 6 is equal to minus 2 minus 2 plus 6. Plus 4.
plus 4, which is x minus 6 is equal
6 is equal to minus 2
plus 2.
plus 4.
So platinum plus 4, gold plus 3 state. So aqua regia is useful, as we have told you, that in the recovery of gold and those metals which are, these are platinum and gold are very costly metals and
Yes,
noble
sir.
metals. They are not attacked by any acid, only by they dissolve in aqua regia. So otherwise, this hydrochloric acid, what it does basically, if you have salts, so you have salts.
Okay.
Salt is formed when acid reacts with a base.
Yes, sir.
And here you have salts of, for example, if I say Na2CO3, this salt will be formed from where? This will be coming from NaOH, and
And
CO3 will come from,
HCl.
no, not HCl, HCl,
HCO3. H
H2CO3.
H2CO3.
This is a weak acid, weak acid.
Okay. Okay.
This is a strong base.
Hmm.
So we are getting them from the salts which are made from weak acid. They will immediately, if I put HCl in these type of salts, what will happen? They will immediately release carbon dioxide gas.
Okay.
So the carbon dioxide gas will be released, and we already know the bubbles of CO2 can be tested by lime water,
Okay.
and CO2 gas will give CO2 gas. And if I have Na2SO3, it is coming from where? Which is this acid H2SO3. It is not H2SO4,
H2.
it is H2SO3. So these are sulfites,
Oh,
sodium
good.
sulfite. If I will put HCl again, there will be what gas? It will give SO3 will decompose into SO2.
Okay.
So
Okay.
CO3 gives CO2, SO3 will give SO2 gases. This is the dissociation reactions of HCl. So mainly HCl basically for extracting glue from bones and purifying bone black. Is a laboratory reagent and is also used in medicine. So not much before after that. Anyhow,
Okay.
this was not the point. The one thing which is important for us now, the very important, very important. There will be question in the paper on this. What we're talking of oxo acids of halogens. Oxo acids of halogens. Oxo, we already know there will be there is going to be a CL double bond, and when I'm saying acid, so we are expecting there will be ionizable hydrogen, which is always with
Oh,
oxygen, because
yes,
it
sir.
has to be with some electronegative element. Electronegative element, then this can be ionized, released. That we know the idea. Oxygen can pull the electron, and H plus can come. So oxo acids are important, and the problem is when we will be discussing with the oxo-acid students, fluorine is the most electronegative,
Yes, sir.
element, and it will form only one oxo acid.
Okay.
Only one oxo acid is known for fluorine. This question has been asked. What is that oxo acid, student? We are talking of HOF.
Okay.
HOF. This is hypofluorous.
Loras.
The names are important because here some confusion is there where in the exam. Hypofluorous acid. This is
Okay.
also called, student, fluoric acid.
Fluoric acid. Okay.
A question is given, write the structure of hypofluorous acid. Then I don't know what is hypofluorous acid. How will I write the structure? That is the problem. So here on oxo acid, this is important, as you have seen in the oxo acids of phosphorus, oxo acid of sulfur. Sometimes the names, how do we remember the names is a problem, but we have to learn them because there will be a question on that. Drawing the structure is very important. We're going to discuss the structure. Whereas other will form several oxo acids.
Okay.
Let us see in certain books they have given a table of these names as well as the acid. Let us have a look on that before I talk of anything else, because that point is important. Student, here is a table which can be obtained from the books. Student, you can see that first I am saying this is for fluorine. There is nothing. Do you see anything? Only what I'm trying to say. Fluorine, important point, because a question could be there in the paper. Fluorine is forming only one, only
Yes, sir.
one oxy acid, which is that I am saying HOF.
F.
And now I am asking question, what is the oxidation numbers of oxygen and fluorine in HOF? This question has been given. Now this is a question. What is the oxidation number of oxygen and fluorine in HOF, students?
Sir, fluorine would be -1.
Fluorine will be -1. And what will be oxygen? What will be hydrogen then? Okay, let us see that.
Sir, oxygen then would be 0.
Important point, students. Important point. I'm saying fluorine, you are saying -1. That is what you are saying, students.
Yes, sir.
Hydrogen is,
+1.
then what is the value of X?
0.
So X is 0. That means in this oxygen is in 0 state.
Yes, sir.
Oxygen, I'm putting oxygen 0 and fluorine -1. This something is interesting here. So because oxygen is 0, you have seen -2 is the main oxides.
Yes, sir.
And peroxide, you see what state of the oxygen you have seen in peroxide -1.
-1.
And only in O2 we talked of 0, but here you are getting 0. That's why this question was given. There is a lot of confusion here. Because students will keeping -2 and +1, then what is the oxidation state of fluorine? If I give -2 and +1, then what will be the oxidation state of fluorine, students?
-2 +1. Fluorine will be in
But
+1.
since fluorine is
Most electronegative.
it cannot be +1. That is a confusion, student. That's why I have given this question.
Okay.
In some places, they have said that this fluorine is +1 oxidation. Then they have written that it is not possible. So that is the story. This is our answer. Our answer. In somewhere they have given an answer of fluorine +1, which I would say is wrong, according to the high electronegativity of fluorine. Okay. Now, because here fluorine is the oxidation state is low. Oxidation state is low, and that is why they are called hypohalous acids. What do you mean by I said na hypohalous is used for lower oxidation state.
Lower oxidation state.
But
Yes, sir.
is a much lower than that. Hey,
Okay.
not 0, even less than that. That is why there's a way of giving them hypohalous acid. So that is
Okay.
the name is hypofluorous acid then. So when it will be hypofluorous acid, that will be the oxidation state of fluorine will be -1.
-1.
And fluorine is forming only one oxide only. Another important point I mentioned here. F forms only one. I am saying important point. Only one oxo acid. I don't have any other. Don't have any other. The reason they asked, what is the reason that fluorine form only one?
Sir, because it has a very high electronegativity and a small size. That's why.
Most electronegative element. So that's the story. Okay. Next, I am coming to student HOCl. Okay. Now when I take HOCl, HOCl is there. HOClO is there. And HOClO2 is there, and HOClO3 is there. I've written three of that.
Okay.
What is the oxidation state of Cl? in HOCl?
It will be
What is the oxidation number, student? That's why I'm taking these points. Very important. That is the thing here.
it will be +1.
Cl, I'm saying oxidation number of Cl. In this case, students, you are saying this is +1, this is -2.
2
So Cl is +1.
+1.
We are here.
Here it will be +1.
This is our +1, -2, -2. So how much is this, students?
It will be -4 +1 and +3.
+3. This is +3. What is this value coming? If this is x, then I know that this is +3. What is this value coming, students, for Cl?
HOClO2. Okay. So this would be +1,
-2,
-2, and
-4,
-4, -6 +1 +5.
+5. What is this here?
It will be +7.
-2, -6. Now we learned it. We learned it how to do it, student. +10. That is important question for the exam. They will ask you find the oxidation number of the halogen in any hypochlorous acid. Here, the students are doing big mistakes. They don't know because they have not learned. So this is a lower one, lower one. That is why we call it hypochlorous acid.
Okay.
Hypochlorous acid name is clear. +3 is not that low as hypo. Hypo word I will remove. What will be the name of that? Chlorous acid. Chlorous acid. ठीक है?
Okay.
Hypo word is when the value of the oxidation number is very low. This
Very
is
low.
low. This is low, but not very low. This is very low. You got to the point?
Yes, sir.
This is low. Low is chlorous. Hypo means very low. HOCl2. This is +5. This is chloric.
Chloric.
Caloric, and +7 is high, very high. When something is very high, per, when we add
Perchloric.
per to that, student,
Yes, sir.
perchloric. I understood the meaning. So how will we say perchloric acid? Then in the exam, perchloric acid will be what? HOClO3. Chloric acid, HOClO2. Chlorous acid, HOCl,
ClO.
and hypo, HOCl.
HOCl.
Sometime a question has been given that per caloric acid is, they have given 4 formulas. Now the students are confused, totally confused. Hardly anybody would, very few would actually answer the correct. Because cramming is not the only way to learn chemistry. There has to be some way of learning it. And we are saying hypochlorous, chlorous, caloric, and perchloric. Higher oxidation state are caloric and very high perchloric.
Perchloric.
Lower is us and very low is
Is
hypo.
hypo.
Hypo us. So this is the way to learn. I hope
Okay.
we have made the point very clear because
Yes, sir.
it can be given. Even competition also sometimes they give you, they will ask you the formula of any of these and give 4 choices. So you will be totally lost. Similarly, if we can write this, we can give for Br. So the Br, you see, bromine is not forming this first two, but bromine is forming bromic. When I say bromic, it is clear that bromic means oxidation state of Br will be +5 and per bromic +7.
+7.
So here you have per iodic acid and iodic acid. Iodic will mean +5 and per iodic means will mean the +7 oxidation.
+7.
Students, so this is that why I took the table, because there was something very important. The other way of naming them is as helic, but you have to mention the oxidation state. You see the oxidation state? Helic. Then you have to mention 7, 5, 3. This is a way to name them, but you have to mention the oxidation states, which we have calculated here. See the plus 7? Helic 7 acid. If I say helic 7 acid, then we know what is that formula. This one. If 5, this is the oxidation state of the halogen here, which is chloric, bromic, iodic, and when the oxidation state plus 3, that is chlorus. And when oxidation state is plus 1, you see the bracket 1, that is hypohalous. Any doubt here? We got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One more question in this. So we learned the table, we learned the table, but something more is coming. Another question which is asked is about the structures.
Okay.
There will be a question. This question was given 2 years back. How to draw the structures of these oxo acid, student, is always important. Structures of oxo acids of halogens. Here again students are confused. Before that, I ask you one question. Here I have given you 4 acids which are given in the book. So we have taken 4 acids whose structure we are going to draw, student. First I am saying is hypochlorous acid. CHLOROUS. And I am asking draw the structure and what is the hybridization of halogen, student, of Cl. First, what is the hybridization of Cl in hypochlorous acid before we go further?
It will be
Hypochlorous is HOCl, students. What is
sp3.
How do we calculate? For this is my Cl. Cl is my central. Cl is my central atom.
Yes, sir.
How many bonds it is forming?
2 bonds, one with H and one with O.
Cl is not forming 2 bonds. Where it is forming 2 bonds? Cl
Okay.
is not forming.
O will be attached with H. Okay.
Cl is only forming 1 bond.
One bond.
Then what happens? Cl, you can calculate by any way. There is nobody stops you. But how many? If I say bond pair, how many bond pair is there? Tell me.
1.
How many lone pairs are there? Tell me. In Cl. Now the story becomes clear.
It will be 3.
3. So 3 plus.
So sp3.
sp3. This is a trick to do it, but we can solve it by any method. You can write the S and P orbitals of the Cl and see what is the hybridization coming. But it is sp3 hybridized halogen. So here again some confusion would be there. Now when we have to write the structure, student, what I do? That means sp3 means what you are talking, 4 bonds. So let me put
yes,
4.
Sir.
sp3 and 4.
Yes, sir.
But here, what is the formula? HOCl. So you are saying it is an oxo acid. There will be some OH. 1 OH is there, but after 1 OH, nothing is left. Then nothing is left here. Anything is left here?
No, sir.
Then what is left here? There are lone pairs.
Lone pairs.
That's all. This is the structure of HOCl. This has been asked in the paper, so don't say that it has not been asked. Got it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So there was some interesting thing. That's why we have taken it. Now what we are saying, draw the structure of chlorous acid. What is this chlorous acid, students?
HClO. HOClO.
Chlorus. What is the chlorus? What is the formula of chlorous acid, students?
HOClO. HOClO.
HOClO. Then the again question is, what is the hybridization of Cl, students?
It would be now two bond pairs and it will be sp3 only.
Two bonds and two lone pair, again
Lone
sp3 hybridization, again student sp3 hybridization, student. Then how do I write the structure of chlorous acid? Again, okay, I know, no problem. I am putting 4 bonds, students, and the one now you have one OH is there and one oxygen
One
is
O.
there. Then what we do? We already know oxo acid will mean one double bond and one OH, and then what will be happening here? Lone pairs, and this is a lone pair. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we can write the structures of these students. So this is a lone pair. So when we write, you can write like this: Cl double bond O, OH, and this. Okay?
Yes, sir.
This is the structure of chlorous acid. Chlorous acid.
Okay.
The book has shown something like this, but book has not shown the electron pairs on the Cl. See,
Yes, sir.
and we are showing these electron pairs. The book may not be very precise sometimes, you know, they are just printing it.
Yes, sir.
Here we know what is, you know, how many electron pairs are there, everything. And then we are going to write the structure of chloric acid, student. Structure of chloric acid. Let me make some space because this is an important question, student. This question, one question has been asked in the paper. So we have to draw the structure of chloric acid. Chloric acid. What is the formula of the chloric acid, student?
Chloric acid is +5, no? HOClO2.
HOC HOClO2.
ClO2.
Then Cl hybridization.
Sir, sp3 only. 3 bond pairs and 1 lone pair.
sp3. Now you have, I'm putting 4 bonds, and you have how many oxygen? You have 1 OH bond, so problem is over. I am putting 1 OH bond, student. Then there are 2 oxygens, double bond, and then
1 OH. Yes,
then
okay.
over 2 and 1, 3 oxygen, we have got 1 hydrogen. Then there is a lone pair of electrons.
1 lone pair. Yes, sir.
This is our answer. Structure. I hope you will be able to draw now. It's very clear.
Yes, sir. Yes,
We have
sir.
made the situation very, very simple for you students. It is very important. Our lectures are very important. You can share them with the student. We have given very detailed information and shown you the right methods, that how do we do it. We don't cram the things, because cramming will be totally confusion.
Yes, sir.
How will I write the structure? Then in the paper it will be very tough. Now I am coming draw the structure of perchloric acid. What will be perchloric and perchloric acid will be in which oxidation state, you already know.
+7.
Perchloric acid. So how will we, what will be the structure of perchloric acid, student? What will be the formula of perchloric acid?
+7. It will be
Uh-huh.
HOClO3.
HO, always I write one HO and ClO3.
ClO3.
Okay. All right. Then it is sp3 hybridized halogen.
Yes, sir.
So I am putting
sp3.
4 bonds in the exam. Students, after that, I have one OH bond, no problem.
3 double
Then
bonds
you have
with
3 oxygen.
oxygen.
That will be 3 oxygen. So chlorine plus 7. You can see 2, 4, 6, and 7. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is an important point. One question is expected from this. That's why we have taken so much time on these students. These are very, very important questions have been discussed on the oxo acids. They are so important and so much problem is there because the students have called me, sir, how to remember oxo acids. And I always say that you don't have to remember anything. You have to learn them. What is the meaning of learning? They don't know. Then what I can help. So learning is required, student, not cramming. Cramming is not going to help. All right, then now we are coming to interhalogen compound, students. So I am going to clear the board. Can I rub these, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here we are coming now to the more important topic, that is interhalogen compounds. Interhalogen compounds also one question will come in the paper. They are important. There is will always be one question on interhalogen compounds. So as we wind up the chapter, we are coming to very important questions. You know, questions can come from anywhere, no one can stop them. And for people who are going for competition, each and every line is important. Unless I understand, I know nothing. That is our point. Chemistry we learned, we not crammed, students. And unless we know the basic concepts, we are totally in doubt and confusion. Okay, students, then the story is that what are these interhalogen compounds? We are coming to, we are saying there are interhalogen compounds. Interhalogen will mean if I have one halogen and I have another halogen X dash, then they will react with each other and form compounds. That is what it means. Two different halogens are there.
Yes, sir.
Say Cl is there, F is there, or anything can be there. They react and form interhalogen compounds.
Okay.
And what we find that usually we are writing them as X, X dash. They are forming compounds like X, X dash 3, X, X dash 5, X, X dash 7. What it means, students? What it means when I write the formula of such compounds, that one will be more electronegative than the other.
And the other.
One is more electronegative than
Negative
the
than
other.
the other. Yes.
Or what is happening that one will be larger in size than the other. One is larger in size of the other, I can say that.
Okay.
For example, if I write students ICL, supposing, or I write IF5 students, or I write BRF3, or I write BRF5. In all these compound, I write BRCL. What we are observing, student? And this is my X. This is my X test. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So this element is larger in size.
Okay.
X dash is smaller in size,
Yes, sir.
then which is more electronegative here? Larger size, then surrounded by certain other halogens, which must be smaller than this. How it can hold them otherwise? Larger and smaller, and the larger it is, the more it can hold. If it is small, then how it is possible that it can hold large?
Yes, sir.
For example, you have seen IF7. I am saying I is the largest,
And F is the smallest.
F is the smallest. So you are able to form IF7. And when I say IF7, you can say that this is plus and this is minus. Fluorine is more electronegative than this. So these ions, you can say, we can say that they are negative, they are positive in terms of their electronegativity, different students. So we can say that in the X dash, X is larger in size and
Yes, sir.
X dash is
Is
smaller
smaller in
in
size.
size. Smaller in size. Therefore, X dash is more electronegative. More
Electronegative.
electronegative. These are some of the generalization which helps us in understanding these compounds.
Okay.
That we know what type of compounds are there. There is a table which is given in the formation of these compounds. So the larger the X, the larger in size is the X, the more smaller it can hold. That is why we are saying if I is the largest, then F, this the maximum IF7 is possible because I is the largest, F is the smallest. This question has been asked that IF7 is existing, but if you say CLF7 or BRF7, they are not existing. They are not existing because that size is smaller, but they can hold seven, seven halogen atoms.
Okay.
So what you, when we will prepare them, again, question has been asked somewhere preparation. In the preparation, what we see students, for example, if I react Cl2 with F2, I am getting ClF473. Now here equal volume, you will see the mention of this equal volume. What we are saying, you are reacting chlorine and fluorine. They react because this is more electronegative. This is less electronegative. So you are getting ClF, but you have to heat them. Temperature is mentioned in the book 437 Kelvin student. At this temperature, the two are reacting to form interhalogen compounds. If I take equal volumes, then there you are getting ClF. But if you take fluorine in excess, student, then what will happen? If I have Cl2 and you take F2 in excess, then it can form ClF3.
Yes,
Then
sir.
it can form ClF3. So temperatures are mentioned 573 Kelvin here. And if I take excess, then similarly for ICl2, equal volume ICl. If you take excess, then you are getting Cl3. Similarly, Bl2, 3F2 to BrF3. And if you take excess, what will happen? Excess of F2, then you are getting BrF5.
Okay.
So this is a way of understanding how they are being formed. Sometimes in the paper they have asked you the preparation or given some idea that equal volumes will mean then almost the same. And when you take something in excess, then it will be more of the F and the first one, the X one, X dash, X dash. That is okay. Something about them to learn actually. You can see that you are having, these are some of the interhalogen compounds. There is a list again in the book.
Yes, sir.
And I always try to take the table to see if some questions are there. Yes, in a table, there are always some questions. That's why we take them. Usually, These are general things which I have learned over a period of time. That questions are being asked from questions are framed from the tables which students don't do. Students ignore the table.
Okay.
So there is a question. You can see that we should try to at least learn them what is happening. X dash CLF, BRF, BR, ICL, IBR. This is our story that first element, first X is bigger in size than the second one. First is electropositive and second is electronegative in comparison to each other. This is a colorless gas, pale brown gas, and then it is becoming solid student, brown solid, black
Okay.
solid. Somewhere you see as the size of the halogen is increasing, as the molecular mass, atomic mass of these halogens are increasing, you can see they are converting from the gas to the solid form. ClF3 is a colorless gas, yellow, colorless liquid, and colorless. So that is okay. But what is important, student? What is important here is the structure of this. This question is always given on structure.
Okay.
That's a memory part. How do we learn it is our problem. And sometimes in certain questions, they ask like gas is this colored. So color from color, we get an idea what it could be. As we have told you about NO2 in the oxides of the nitrogen. It dimerizes to form colorless. Otherwise, it was colored. So you say NO2 to N2O4. Certain detection identifications are there in the gases because color is very important. Whether it's a gas, solid, liquid is also important in chemistry. They provide a lot of clues for solving many questions. Structure is going to be there, students. This question is coming now. He says,
Okay.
draw the structure of ClF3. How will you draw the structure of ClF3? Supposing I say valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, or I don't mention. Again, coming to those chemical bonding topics now. How do we draw the structure of ClF3, students? ClF3 students, I have 1 minute for you. Is a brain exercise. Everything is a brain exercise. What questions are possible, students? That is the point. The molecular structures were drawn by using the valence shell electron pair repulsion theory in 11th class in chemical bonding. I hope you got an idea.
Yes, sir.
The central atom is Cl, students.
Yes, sir.
How many electrons? Cl has 7.
7.
And 3 fluorine are coming. How many?
3 fluorine. 3
3.
electrons
10
gone.
electrons. So when you have 5 pairs of electrons, what will happen? 5 pairs of electrons, students. Here you have 5 pairs of electrons. What is going to happen, students? What will be the shape of this, students? What is that? When I talk of structure, student, what I'm trying to tell you that there are 5 pairs. So how they are arranging 5 pairs when lone pair, lone repulsion to be minimized? What should be the shape, students?
It should
Trigonal,
be
bipyramidal.
trigonal. Yes, sir. Trigonal bipyramidal. Okay.
Trigonal,
Okay.
bipyramidal. That could be the story. But how many bonds pair? How many bonds are there?
3 bonds.
So where should I put 3 bonds and lone pairs? And there are 3 bond pair, student, and 2 lone pairs. Now I come to the same base. So where is to put the lone pair? So repulsion is minimized, students. If I am using valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, students, I'm talking about valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. Where will the fluorines go, student? Where will the lone pair? So this fluorine, and these lone pairs of electrons, student, on the occupying the 2 equatorial positions, because the bond angle is maximum, repulsion is minimized, student. Then there will be lone pair repulsion. So what shape it is looking?
Bent T shape.
This question has been asked in the paper, students.
Okay.
It is a bent T shape because there will be some repulsion between these lone pairs. They are repelling. What will happen? They will push them a little bit. It's not a perfect T shape. It's bent T shape. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Then they will say, okay, draw the structure of IF5 students. I
IF5. Okay.
draw the structure. If I would have used the hybridization student, if I would have used the hybridization again, what would be the story? Uh, if I have to find the hybridization of this, I can answer the question in many ways. Cl, what will be the hybridization of Cl student? Bond pair, how many? Three.
3 bond pair.
Lone pair, how many?
As how many
Fluorine.
lone pairs? Fluorine?
There are two lone pairs, total
2
five.
lone pairs.
So when
5.
there are five, what is the hybridization? What is the hybridization, students?
sp3d.
sp3d. No problem. I could do it in many ways. See that story. How do we solve the questions in the paper? Now, one question is coming on this. I'm telling you. One question will be there. Very important. IF5 students and IF5. I have IF5. So, what will happen here in IF5? IF5, what will be the hybridization? If I talk of hybridization in iodine, there are 5 bond pairs and one lone pair,
Lone pair 6.
6.
sp3d2.
So what will happen if I have there is one lone pair of electron, one lone pair of electron and putting F, F. So how it will look like, students?
Uh, it will be a
Square
square pyramidal.
pyramidal. You can apply the valence shell electron pair repulsion theory also, no problem, student. Then I'll ask you the question, the shape of IF7.
IF7.
Yes.
Okay.
How many bond pair?
7 bond pairs.
How many lone pair?
No lone pair.
7 bond pair. 7 bond pair. Then
Okay.
what will be the, if there are 7 bond pair, then what is the shape? sp3d,
D.
sp3d,
sp3d3.
sp3d3, what is that?
It will be sp3d. sp3d3.
Pentagonal,
Pentagonal bipyramidal.
bipyramidal. So you can draw the shape of pentagon and bipyramid, student. So we can answer any question out of this. Is important question, important question. That is why it has been taken. The one question is coming from this part. Whatever questions are coming, we have discussed them very clear way. We don't remember anything. We have to work it out, students. Either you calculate the hybridization or you use the valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. Makes no difference. The all these are the important point for us is that they will be undergoing hydrolysis and are forming, as you can see, what is the product of hydrolysis. You have if I say, if I have ClFO, if it is, this is negative, this is positive, you are saying. So if I will react with water, this is negative, this is positive, what is going to happen? Negative will be go with the positive and this will go with this plus ClO. What will you get? ClOH. So this is how the things are going, as you can see in the hydrolysis.
Okay, sir.
An ion and cation, an ion and cation.
Cation.
So then we can try to see the hydrolysis products when they are hydrolyzed. So giving halide ion is coming from smaller halogen. Halide ion is coming from
Smaller halogen.
X minus, more electronegative, smaller halogen. or more electronegative halogen. ठीक है?
Okay, sir.
Same thing, more electronegative. Smaller the size, more electronegative. Larger the size, less electronegative. So X minus will be there, then X minus, then H plus and X minus will be there. And then hypohalite and similarly HOX, all this. And further, we have seen that this XX dash bond, this is weaker than XX bond.
Okay.
These bonds are weaker, therefore they will dissociate. They will dissociate faster. They will be more reactive. So we can say that interhalogen compounds are more reactive. Interhalogen compounds are
More reactive.
more reactive than halogens.
Halogens. Okay.
Why? Question has been asked. This question was asked in the paper, student. Why they are more reactive, student? Because XX dash bond is weaker than XX bond. This is the answer.
Okay.
In the exam, what we are writing, XX dash bond is weaker than XX bond. Students, XX dash bond. This bond is weaker. This bond is weaker, students. So here they have asked discuss the molecular shape of BRF3 on the basis of valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. We have already discussed this in two ways, valence shell or hybridization.
Okay.
Therefore, students, we have discussed with you the most important oxo acids of halogens. Their oxidation states we have told you how to calculate, and
Yes, sir.
structures how to draw, and interhalogen compounds how they are formed, and the structures of interhalogen compounds is a very important question for the exam. This has been asked many times. So one of these structures could be asked again in the papers. And that ends the topic of group 17 students. So we will meet you in our next class with another group which is left in this P block elements. Okay, then I hope
Okay.
we have been able to solve and answer most of the question. If there is any doubt, students.
No doubt, sir.
Okay, all right. Then we'll meet you in our next class.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good night.